The Maze Runner. So the movie starts and Greenie wakes up in this cage, basically like an elevator. He has no idea where he is or who he is because the people that put him there wiped his memory. If I ever lost my memory, y'all know what I'm doing. I can't lie, the first thing I'm doing is running that whole series back. Anyways, Eyebrows here, aka Gelly, gets him out the cage. But I guess humans are kind of scary because why my boy hit the dash like that? Like bro was really moving. Thomas trips over and realizes he's in a box. 4 walls, no escape. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they call him Greenie because he don't know his name. So the boys end up putting him in the pit so he can calm down. After a while, LB, the leader of the Gladers, comes and takes him out. He explains how everybody woke up in that box with no memory except their names. And they somehow still know their correct gender. LB shows Thomas around and breaks down how they live and what everybody does. So every month someone new pops up in the box with new supplies so the Gladers can grow their crops. And some of these guys have been stuck in here for 3 years plus. 3 years just chilling with dudes? Sure. I can't even hold you. I wouldn't survive. I don't know how people in prison do it. This is why I'm a law-abiding citizen. Cause fuck that. Niggas really be out here flexing about how they got locked up. Yeah, I did 20 years. You don't know about the struggle. You were locked up with all men for 20 years? Hey, yo! LB shows Thomas the complete layout of the glade. He doesn't tell Thomas that it's an actual maze, but my guy is super curious. LB's like, the #1 rule is never go through those doors. And honestly, I don't get why he just didn't tell him up front. LB introduces Thomas to Nuke and Chuck. And by the way, Chuck is my guy. He's the youngest glader, and he's just a nice kid. So Thomas ends up checking out the forbidden door, and 2 runners come out. Wait, I thought you said nobody was allowed to leave. Nah, they're runners. They know more about the maze than anybody else. Wait, what? What? You just said maze. I did. And yep, that's how Thomas finds out that he's in a maze. This is why you gotta tell curious people the truth up front, because they're gonna find out anyways. So Thomas walks right up to the door, only to get yanked by Eyebrows. Damn, where the fuck did he come from? My guy's strong as hell. The Miami Dolphins need a linebacker like this. Get the hell off me. Hey, calm down. Why wouldn't anybody tell me what's out there? We're trying to protect you. First off, why don't they just tell him it's dangerous? And second, why the hell does he want to go somewhere people are telling him not to go? Like my nigga just got here an hour ago. Ain't no way you're this curious. Like at least wait a day. Damn. A massive gust of wind roars through and the door slams shut. The look on Thomas' face says it all. He might actually start listening to the others. That night they throw a celebration, and honestly I don't even know what they were celebrating, but a party is a party. So while the lads were wrestling and turning up, Newt pulls Thomas aside and starts breaking it down. He tells him how the maze is constantly changing and about the Grievers, those creepy mechanical monsters that roam the maze at night. Nobody knows how they look like because nobody has ever lived to tell the tale. Eyebrows invites Thomas for a little wrestling match. Thomas gets dropped on his face, then he's back, but I guess Greenie had that dog in him because he flips the script and drops Gelly, only to get swept off his feet and knock his head onto the ground. And just like that, Thomas remembers his name. I remember my name. It's Thomas. He takes a sip of whiskey and I guess he's a part of the boys now. So everybody hits disease, and the next morning LB shows a wall dedicated to all the runners that got murked in the maze. And damn, that's a lot of bodies. Mia Khalifa can relate. But that was not going to stop Curious George from asking questions. Has anybody ever tried climbing the top? We tried it. What about the box when it comes up? We tried it. What if we try? We tried it, okay? Twice. And I really don't understand why News was mad at Thomas for asking questions. Like, what do you expect him to do? Stay quiet? Thomas heads to the woods to grab fertilizer. And when he gets there, he sees skeletons of dead people. My guy turns around and this motherfucker standing there like... You good, gang? My nigga tackles Thomas and starts choking him, trying to send him to the man above. Bro cannot breathe. Thomas grabs the skull off the ground and smacks him right on the head, then quickly gets up and starts hitting the dash. My nigga was running for his life, screaming, "Help! Help!" Nah, my boy really thought he was about to die. So all the boys run towards him and New smacks Ben right off him. I do not know how he's not dead. They all hold him down, then lift his shirt and realize he's been stung. Bro got hit with the All Might special. And yeah, in the glade, that means you gotta go. They drag him right to the door of the maze just before it closes, forcing him out. And just like that, they cross his name right off the wall. Thomas keeps having dreams of him in the laboratory talking to some girl. When he wakes up, he sees LB and Minaho running into the maze to check for Ben to see if my boy made it out. And let's be real, we all know that nigga dead. Later that day, LB and Minaho don't come back in time and everybody starts panicking because if those doors close, it's GG's. The boys post up at the door as it starts closing. They see Minaho dragging LB, but it doesn't look like they're gonna make it. So Thomas is like, fuck it, and runs in, and you gotta respect it. He's a real one. A lot of y'all friends would have just been like, I'm sorry, bro. Good job. You just got yourself killed. Like, what the fuck? This is why you can't help everybody. Thomas realizes LB got stung and is unconscious. And Minaho just wanted to leave him there because the Grievers were coming out. And honestly, I don't get it. Like, why'd you save him in the first place? You could have just dropped his ass and made it through in time. But Thomas wasn't gonna leave him on the floor to be left for dead. They take LB with them, but as soon as Minaho starts hearing the Grievers, he's like, hey, we gotta let his ass go. But Thomas wasn't gonna do that, so they decide to hide him. They tie LB up with some vines, and just before they finish, Minaho spots a Griever and was like, nah, fuck this, and dips. Thomas stays back and hangs LB up. He ends up up hiding under the vines for a bit, which is kind of stupid because he could have just put Elby there. He starts walking around the maze only to step on some sticky goo. Then out of nowhere, one of the Grievers just busts a nut right on his shoulder. And yeah, if that was me, it's straight hands after that. I ain't running. Like, ain't no alien about to disrespect me like that. Thomas looks up and starts hitting the jets, but this half alien robot was quick as hell. It corners him, so he climbs up the vines, gets on top, and starts moving like it's Temple Run. He ends up jumping onto the wall, falls down, and had the Griever tangled up in the vines. I guess God was on his side. He runs back into Minaho, and they start running through the maze. Thomas realizes the maze doors are closing, so he draws the Griever right to him, just enough for him to squeeze through and kill the Griever. We might need a toast for that, because that was amazing. The next morning, the doors open, and all three of them make it out. The first people to ever survive a night in the maze. Did you see a Griever? He didn't just see one. He killed it. So yeah, while Thomas just saved LB's life and took down the Griever, Eyebrows is mad as hell. And he needs to be punished. He broke the rules. Like, imagine someone trying to get you in trouble because you saved somebody's life. This guy's a D1 hater. So yeah, everybody goes back to camp, and while they're trying to figure out what punishment that Thomas has to get for going into the maze to save someone's life, the horn goes off and the box comes up. Remember, it's only been 2 days. The box usually takes a month to come back up. Everyone runs to see who it is, only to find a girl. She's knocked out cold. They find a note on her hand saying she's the last one ever. She wakes up, says Thomas, and knocks right back out. Now everyone's low-key panicking because if she's the last one ever, that means no more food is coming up and doomsday is around the corner. Thomas and a few others go back into the maze to check out the Griever he killed. He ends up taking out this metal detector majig, whatever it is, from the Griever's brain and heads back to camp. He shows the others and everyone's intrigued, besides Eyebrows. Like, they finally have some hope to get out of this place. And this pussy is talking about breaking some rules. Like, I actually don't think this guy wants to leave the maze. He might like boys. And listen, I have no problem with that. It's just some of us are trying to make it out. Shout out to the LGBTQ HDMI PS5, bro. Newt makes Thomas a runner, so he's officially allowed to enter the maze without breaking the rules. And yeah, Eyebrows is still mad for some reason. Get off me, man. Minnow takes Thomas to a secret hut and shows him a map of the entire maze. He breaks it down. He's ran through the entire thing damn near 1,000 times and he's yet to find a way out. But now I guess with this tracker that they got from the Grievers, this is their only shot. So as they were going through the map, they realized there's something special about Section 7. Yesterday after they killed the Griever, the doors for Section 7 stayed open. Anyways, they end up getting interrupted because Teresa, the girl from earlier on, has woken up and she was wilding out. So Thomas had to go calm her down and chop it up for a bit. Turns out that she came down with medicine. They used it to heal Albie because my guy was literally on 1 HP. Nigga was one more cough away from death. So that night, Thomas had to stay in the pit as a punishment for breaking the rules. The next morning, Minnow and Thomas head back into the maze, and I can't even lie, this place is huge. If you're a big back or you run like Phantom, you are not making it, gang. As they move through the maze, the metal tracker thingy starts beeping. They follow the sound and it leads them to this secret passage. So this red light scans them and all the doors start slamming shut. They were not trying to stick around to see what happens next, so they started hitting the jets. Nah, they were really moving and the maze was not holding back. Walls shifting, paths closing, the floor's damn near cracking. Fuck, shit was falling everywhere, but they squeezed through and make it out just in time. I think we found a way out. Really? Yeah, a new door. Hey, Thomas doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Man, I cannot stand this dude Eyebrows. Like, ain't no way bro is satisfied with living in these conditions behind these 4 walls. Let me tell you something, Greenie. You've only been here 3 days. All right, I've been here 3 years. Yeah, you've been here 3 years and you're still here. Yeah, his ass just got cooked. Like, how do you even come back from that? Albie finally wakes up from the healing chamber and tells Thomas that the people that put them there aren't gonna let them leave. And yeah, that's some kind of news that you keep to yourself, buddy. So in the distance, you hear people start screaming and freaking out. This was because the maze door didn't close. And remember, that was the only thing that was keeping them demons out. 2 other doors open at the back of the maze and Grievers start pouring into the camp. And yeah, they were cooked. They run back and try hiding in the field, but one guy gets caught lacking and yeah, he did not survive. They run straight to the village, but a Griever pops out right in front. But my girl Teresa comes in clutch and lights that motherfucker up. They quickly run to hide inside their stick house, knowing damn well that shit was not gonna keep the Grievers out. Like, this was a bad position to be in. The Griever breaks through the roof and snatches Chuck's little fat ass. They all pull him down and Elby comes and chops off the tentacles or arms, whatever it's called. But for some reason, Elby just stood there like it was all over. The Griever spins the block and grabs Elby and yeah, he kind of accepted fate. Thomas, it's over, Brody. So yeah, he dies and Eyebrows comes in marching and pops Thomas right in the face. And I kind of understand why bro was scared now. Anyways, Thomas stabs himself with the Griever stinger so he can unlock his full memory and find out the truth. Turns out that he worked for the people that put him in the maze. So did Teresa. They've been watching these guys for years and watching them die. So they're low-key the bad guys. Thomas wakes up and tells everyone the truth. They're kind of shocked, but it didn't really matter because they all need to get out one way or another. Eyebrows ties Teresa and Thomas up as an offering to the Grievers, which is kind of dumb because they're just gonna come for you guys after. They get hit with a pump fake because Minho and the others were planning to leave with Thomas the entire time. Anyone else who wants to come, this is your last chance. Don't listen to him. Like, why wouldn't you? What are you guys gonna do? Stay in here forever? So a few of the gliders walked to Thomas and the gay ones stayed behind. So now we've got 13 niggas running through the maze straight to section 7. They come across a griever blocking the passage that they need to get through. So Thomas has to give them the prep talk. It's either we get out now or we die trying. They charge right at the griever with their spears, poking and stabbing it. One of the side characters gets thrown like a rag doll. He didn't make it. And the key gets hit and nearly falls off the bridge. But Chuck comes in clutch and chases it down, hitting the sliding knee to save it. And it was a marvelous save. When Chuck looks down, he realizes there's more grievers coming up. Him and Teresa quickly try to open the door while the others fight the grievers. Minho gets caught lacking by a griever, but the last black kid comes and saves him. And of course he dies. Like, we already killed off one black character. Why we gotta kill off two? Minho gives the code to Teresa because the doors wouldn't open, and it finally does. They all go in and all the other doors slam shut, crushing the griever. They make it out and they're in some type of laboratory and everyone is dead. Patients, doctors, even the guards. A video pops up of this lady on the screen saying, "You guys have successfully completed the maze." Anyways, it turns out the outside world is infected and billions of people all around the globe have been dying from a virus. It's basically COVID-19, but it wasn't fake. She self-destructs and the doors open. Then out of nowhere, Eyebrow rocks up with a pistol.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
We can't leave. My nigga, we're already outside the maze. Like, what are you talking about? He points the gun right at Thomas, but Minho yanks a spear right through his chest. And then we get the shit that they put in every movie. Everyone turns around like everything's okay. And of course, our favorite character always gets shot. Like, why do they always do this? So he dies, they go outside, and some guy comes and picks him up in a helicopter, and apparently they're safe.